Growing up, I always had a servant's heart. Okay, so I knew I either wanted to serve in the military or go into law enforcement. I knew that. However, I had the opportunity to work for DPS right out of high school. I knew by starting with a department that early that I just stayed with the DPS route and, eventually, and, leading up to the law enforcement career. And how I got into being more interested in wearing this badge and also just a career in law enforcement is I'm a very blessed man. I'm blessed because I have a father to look up to. And my dad served in DPS. He served 30 years with the department and as a Highway Patrol trooper and also as a sergeant with the Governor's Protection Detail. And so I saw him, doing this job as a trooper as a kid. I would put on his boots and put on his hat. I sit in his patrol car. So I'm blessed to be able to follow his footsteps. And, he really he never pushed me into the career. It was just something that I knew I wanted to do because, like I said, I looked up to him and he educated me growing up, taught to me about the department and all the different divisions. And so that's why I ended up coming this route. For me, so I was a ranger before I was a husband and a father. So how I carry that over into being a husband and a father, it has shown me how fragile life can be. So because of that, I take every moment with my family, right? Every moment that I have, I take it. I appreciate my family and I appreciate my moments with my family. And I don't take anything for granted. Because of the things that I've seen, the things I've experienced, when I'm at home and I'm with them, I'm present. And sometimes I can be a little overprotective, right? And my family, even my wife, it kind of gets on her nerves at times. But it's because I think the things that I've seen, the things that I've had to experience, I've seen bad things happen to good people. I've seen, the evil in this world. And so it just makes me realize how fragile life is. And so when I'm with my family, it just makes me appreciate them more. I want them to know that although I'm extremely proud to be a ranger, my family's very proud of me and for what I do. My kids look up to me and they love rangers, anything rangers. And at one time, all three of them have told me they want to be a ranger when they grow up, right? Because and that's a compliment because they interact with other rangers, my friends, me. They see that, and so it's a positive thing. All three of my kids have asked me to swear them in as junior rangers, right? Which was a tremendous honor for me, and I sworn them, all three of them in at the Ranger Museum in Waco, and both days were great, and they still talk about it. So as proud as they are of me and as proud as I am to be a ranger, what I want them to know most importantly is that it's not my entire identity. Okay, that it doesn't define who I am. I try my best to live my life by the golden rule, right? Just to treat others the way I want to be treated. That I want them to remember me as just being a good person, both on and off duty. And that I did my best to stay humble, right? To treat people with dignity and respect, and that I'm no better than anybody else. Regardless of what kind of badge I've worn, no matter what I've done for a living, no matter what rank I am, that I've always stayed humble and I've never forgotten where I've come from. I do have one. And it was 2016, and I assisted the Falls County Sheriff's Office with a capital murder investigation where a mother suffocated and killed her 5-month-old baby girl. And the reason why this case changed me personally, it was a pivotal moment in my career and in my life, because my wife and I had just had our baby girl, and The victim was 5 months old. Our daughter was 4 months old. And I remember this because it was Halloween night that I got the call. And we were at home, my wife and I, celebrating our baby girl's first Halloween, right? We even had a little bib that says my first Halloween, and took some pictures with her. And my phone rings, and they told me it was a 5-month-old baby girl. And over the phone, like every other case, I had been a ranger now at that time, I had been a ranger for about 4, almost 5 years. And so I have seen a lot of cases, and I've seen a lot of death. And I'm not saying that it didn't bother me, but I dealt with those death investigations as a ranger and as a person. This was the first one that I had dealt with as a father. And when I walked into the crime scene and saw the baby, all I could see was my baby girl. And what made it worse was going through cell phone evidence and processing the scene. That little girl had a lot of the same things that my daughter had as well, even down to the same bib. And that hit me hard. It was my first Halloween. And prior to her death, she was taking pictures with her family as well, celebrating her first Halloween. So it hit me. It really did. So much so that I had the ranger that was assisting me at that crime scene ask me if I was okay because he could see it. It was the first time in my career that I had to take a step back, take a deep breath, and get myself together, and still continue to work that case. And it was ultimately a very successful case. I'm very proud of that case, just from a criminal side. But personally, that one has stuck with me, and it still does to this day. Every Halloween I think about her. And, when you get home, obviously the first thing I did was go to the crib and check in on my baby girl. So my wife, Michelle, like I said earlier, we've been married 10 years. She works in education. She works at our children's elementary school, and she loves kids. And I don't see how she does it. She has three young kids at home. Like I said, we have a circus every day at our house, and she has to deal with kids all day at work too. So she's always around kids. I don't know how she does it, but she's my rock. She really is. I know for a fact I would not be where I am today and be as successful as I have been if it wasn't for her sacrifices and her encouragement, her support. She holds the fort down when, all the long nights and all the times I'm having to be away from the house. She deserves a badge all of her own. She does. And she keeps me grounded. Like I said earlier, when I walk through the front door, my kids don't care what kind of day I had. I'm not a ranger to her. I'm not, and, I may have a great day and think that, I'm doing my thing, right? And I'm rangering. When I get home, she keeps me grounded, right? But I thank her for that. I really do. I know for a fact I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for her.